So how did you do? Were you able to discover new and useful options in the property sheet? Since this was a creative challenge, there's obviously no right or wrong answers. The important lesson is just to dive in and experiment. So let's first start by taking a look at our products table here. I can see all of the different products that we offer. We have lots of details about each product, including its power output and its footprint or its size. So my idea is to create a form that simplifies the information down to just the basic specifications that our customers might inquire about. Something like a quick product reference guide. So let's go ahead and start building. Let's go ahead and close this down. And I'm going to go to the Create tab, and we'll start in Form Design View. I'm going to switch over to Add Existing Fields, and under Show Tables, we'll open up our Products table, and I'll start adding in a few things. We'll take the product category, the name, its power output, its footprint, and maybe the suggested retail price. Okay, that's enough fields to start with, so I'm going to go ahead and close down the field list. And I'm going to go ahead and open up that property sheet there. So I want to start playing around with the layout of my form here. So I'm going to go over here to the category label, and I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to move category up here to the upper left-hand corner. And I'm thinking of using this category as a bar that goes across the top of the screen here. So what I'm going to do is make this wider, make it all the way over to here. And I'm going to adjust some of these properties here. Let's take a look through the format properties, and I'm going to find this back color property here. Let's change it to that Kinetico blue color. Go down to more colors here. And under custom, we're going to enter in those same values that we've seen before. 0, 114 for green, and 139 for blue. Let's go ahead and say OK. We'll go ahead and change the font color here. That's the 4 color. I'm going to use that build button here and choose it a white color. Let's go ahead and maybe center that font. Let's go ahead and find text align, and I'll change that to center. Now, what if I want to vertically align that text? I want to move this text here so it's not just right up against the top, but it's centered vertically here. Now, there's not going to be a property for vertical alignment, but if I go down a little bit, maybe I can find something that'll help us out. Here we go. I'm going to take a look at here at this top margin property. Let's go ahead and change that from 0 inches to 0.1 inches and see what happens. That actually moves my text down a little bit too far, so maybe I want to move it back up a little bit. Let's try 0.08 instead. All right, now it looks centered vertically here in this text box that I've provided. Let's go ahead and make it a bold font. If we go back up here and take a look, we'll find a font style. So let's go ahead and make it a bold font. I'm going to scroll back up and find this one here called Font Weight. My options here are normal, thin, extra light. I'm going to choose bold from the list. That'll make the text a little bit heavier. At any time, I can go ahead and switch into Form View to see how it's looking. And I can see that I have the solar panels label here. And if I go to my next record, I can see batteries, light bulbs, and so on. Now, what if I want to make this text box here, this bar, go all the way across my screen? Well, I can take a look at that. Let's go into Design View. Now, right now, the form I'm designing is only about 6¼ inches wide. I can make the form much wider here, and then move this over to match. But this is only going to accommodate my screen. Even if I get rid of the property sheet and fill it up all the way over to here to the end, it's not going to adjust itself for some other person's screen that might be on a larger monitor. So one of the things that I can do is open up the property sheet and select that text box. And I'm going to come down here on the property sheet, and I'm going to find a property called Horizontal Anchor. Right now it's set to left. My options are left, right, or both. If I set it to right and take a look at what happens, you can see that that text box gets anchored over here against the right-hand edge. Let's go ahead and switch back into Design View and switch that to both instead. Change Horizontal Anchor here to both. Now it's going to get anchored to the upper left and the upper right-hand corner. And now it stretches all the way across the screen. So regardless of what size monitor I'm on, this green bar is going to go all the way across the screen. Let's go back into Design View and take a look at some other properties. I want to make this form a split form so that I can see both a data sheet and the layout that I'm designing here at the same time. That's going to be a property of the form itself. I can get to the form's properties by clicking on this box here between the rulers, or switching this drop-down here to the form properties here. Now I'm going to go over here to the default view and change it from single form to split form. If I go down to the bottom here, we'll find some properties that deal with that split form. Right now it's set to split form orientation. It says data sheet on top. What happens if we switch it to data sheet on bottom, for instance? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now I've got a data sheet that represents the values that we're pulling out of the table and this design section up here on the top. Let's go ahead and switch back into Design View. I want to go ahead and rearrange these items a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this label here that says name, and I'm going to move this over here to the right. We'll make it bigger. And I'm going to go over here to the Format tab, and I can make it bold, and I can enlarge the size here. You notice as I do that, those properties are changing over here. Now it says font size 18 and the font weight is bold. Let's go ahead and move these product specifications over here to the right. I'll move power over here. I'll put footprint below it. And we'll move the suggested retail price below that. Finally, I'm going to make this a little bit shorter. We'll drag this up to the bottom there. And to prevent any changes happening here in my products form from being saved into the products table, I'm going to go over here to the data tab and change it back from the suggested retail text box, which is this one here, to the form box there. And I'm going to change its records type from Dynaset to snapshot. And while I'm here, I can also play around with this order by section here. The order by will sort my records as they come into the form. Right now, they're just sorted based on the products table. I can force it to sort in a specific way by typing in the field that I want to sort by. For instance, if I type in category here, it's going to sort all the products that are in the same category together. Let's go ahead and view the results. Go to the Home tab and change the form view. Now I can see the batteries up here on the top, and all the batteries are grouped together down here in the category. I can click around to view the different battery options. We can scroll through the table to take a look at our grid tie inverters, and I can make this a little wider if I want. We've got our light bulbs down here, and so on. So I could keep working on this form, but I think I'm going to leave it here. As you can see, the property sheet has lots of options, and it's definitely an environment that rewards time spent playing with all of the possibilities.